As we've already seen, at stage 1 and stage 2 moral reasoning, the person measures the rightness and wrongness of an act or omission according to the physical consequences. Will I be punished? Will I be rewarded? Now the individual begins to consider the psychological consequences of their acts. The child who has been told no more rewards may begin to think, okay, no more bicycles for making the honor roll. But you know, when I do what my parents expect of me, I get their approval and respect, and that feels good. In other words, there's a shift away from seeking the physical rewards, which are no longer available, toward the psychological reward that being accepted and approved of can be. And there is a desire to avoid not only physical punishment, but psychological punishment as well, to avoid ridicule, disrespect, rejection. At stage 3, the good boy, nice girl orientation, the person assumes that some act or omission is right and good if those people I respect and whose respect I desire will accept me, approve of me, praise me, and think highly of me. An act or omission is wrong or foolish or worthless if it might lead those whom I respect and whose approval I seek to disapprove of me, ridicule me, disrespect me, or reject me. The person now assumes that she must conform to the expectations of others in order to fit in and win approval. It may or may not be true in reality, but she believes that if I do what they do, they will accept me, and if I don't, they will reject me. Fierce loyalty to my group develops, that is, to the groups that consider me a good boy or nice girl, that reward me with their acceptance and approval. A few examples of the reasoning of people at stage 3. When I go to a party, it's okay for me to drink and smoke weed. If I don't, my friends will think I'm a jerk. Or, it's okay to copy homework. Everyone does it. Or, if the kids at school knew that I went to church every weekend, they'd think I was some kind of religious fanatic or something. I go, but I don't tell anyone. Often, conflicts arise between parents' expectations and those of peers. What to do? My parents expect me to steer clear of drinking. My friends all drink. Do I conform to the expectations of my peers or to those of my parents? If I do what my peers do and what I assume they expect me to do, I risk the disapproval of my parents. But if I don't go along with my friends, they'll think I'm a wimp. In such situations, usually the peers win out, because if my parents find out and disapprove of me, they'll still love me. That's a parent's job. They have to. But my peers will not. They'll crucify me, and I won't be able to show my face in school or in the neighborhood. Note that the person is not governed by principle, but by the expectations and values of those whose approval she is seeking. She doesn't really believe in honesty, but will be honest in order to win approval from others. The stage 3 person is still reasoning heteronomously. A slogan for this stage might be, go along to get along. For people of any age, such reasoning can become the source of much frustration. Sooner or later, the person may tire of trying to please everyone. They may eventually say to themselves, you really can't please everyone, so why try? And it is impossible to meet the expectations of every significant individual or group in one's life, because those expectations often conflict. The expectations of my parents and coaches and the expectations of my friends many times are in opposition. This frustration can lead to moral growth, to a more subtle form of moral reasoning. Kohlberg calls stage 4 the law and order orientation. The person figures that since I can't win the approval of everyone because there are too many conflicting expectations, I must settle for winning the approval of most people, of the majority, that is, of society in general. I can't please and win the respect of everyone, but I can win the respect of most people. I can win that approval by conforming to society's rules, customs, and laws, that is, by maintaining the status quo. So now the person assumes that whatever is legal, customary, traditional, whatever is in conformity with the views of the majority and its authorities, that is, whatever is conventional, that is what is good and right and worthwhile. Conversely, whatever is illegal and unlawful, whatever is non-traditional, defiant, unusual, and unconventional, is bad and wrong and foolish. The person who reasons at stage 4 is still very much a conformist, but now he conforms to the standards of the majority, the system, the establishment. And people who reason this way tend to be legalistic, to be focused on the letter of the law or rule or custom. An example. At stage 1, I think it's wrong to exceed the speed limit because I might get caught and fined, or even lose my license. At stage 2, I avoid speeding to keep my insurance premiums as low as possible and my cash in my pocket. At stage 3, I avoid speeding because I want others to think of me as a skilled and responsible driver. Now at stage 4, while those other motives are still there to some extent, I am primarily thinking it's wrong to speed on the highway because it's against the law, and good, respectable citizens obey the law. Like stages 1, 2, and 3, stage 4 is still heteronymous reasoning. The person is not governed by principle, but by a kind of blind obedience to the system and its rules, to the status quo, in order to win social acceptance. By the way, this might help us understand why so many otherwise good people participated in the Nazi Holocaust and later tried to justify themselves with, "I was only following orders." Someone who reasons at stage 4 acts in good conscience when he or she obeys the rules and the rulers and follows their orders. This raises an important question. Is following my conscience enough? Is Jiminy Cricket really right when he says, "Always let your conscience be your guide"? This also sheds light on why people who not only don't support the status quo, but actually challenge it, often end up ostracized or even worse. Jesus was crucified. St. Thomas More was beheaded. Martin Luther King was reviled and was eventually assassinated. A fitting slogan for stage 4 moral reasoning might be, "The system isn't perfect, but it's the best we've got. So shut up, do what is expected, fulfill your duties, and play your part."